Hello YouTube, how's everybody doing today? This video is going to be a bit on the longer side, but hopefully you guys will stick around to the end. So today is Thursday, it's the last Thursday of the month. So let's quickly recap September's before we go on to October's. So September's theme for Things Are Making Thursday was amigurumis. Now if you don't know what Things Are Making Thursday is all about, small group of ladies, like content creators on YouTube. I want to say 4 or 6 people. I call them the founding mothers, the founding creators, that kind of idea, because it started out very, very small group. They came up with 12 free crochet patterns back in 2023, one for each month of the year. Each month they would honor a specific pattern. Like we'll say, for example, the corner to corner love blanket they did. Throughout that month, they would show their progress, talk about any difficulties they may have had, things they may, if they found problems in the pattern even, because I know one of the wrister patterns, the way it was written, was kind of awkward and stuff. And at the end of the month, they would show you a finished item. Well, over the year of 2023, the group grew pretty quickly. I followed, did not participate, but loved everything I saw. It's a hoot basket. I did years prior make a basket, and I made it with flowers instead of making it as an owl. So I kind of made one of the projects years ago kind of thing, but changed it up for more of what I was looking for. Anyways, over that year, I also would go and find free knitting patterns that were a similar idea, because there is a Facebook group called Things We're Making Thursday, and I would go occasionally. I know I did it for sure for 2 months, but I think I did 3 times. I'd go find a knitting pattern, because I crochet and I knit. Now I know the ladies who started the group, I think they're all just strictly crocheters, that's why they just went with crocheting. But I would share a couple patterns that I found that were free, so that if you were a knitter and you want to make a similar idea but make it knitting, here's an idea for you. I know Erin over at Crafting Kitty, on her YouTube channel, when she would share her videos, she kind of did the same idea, and she printed out a few knitting patterns that she shared occasionally in her videos. So just to reach out to a wider, crafting community. So in 2024, which is the year I did start joining, my first video was made in February of 2024, and I'd already started to join Things to Make It Thursday. They switched it up a little, and what they did was they gave us a theme. So each month we had a theme. We could make whatever we wanted to follow within that theme. You could crochet, knit, weave, sew. Like, it reached a bigger variety of people and made it a little more fun, because then, seeing other crafters and stuff like that. And then this year they kind of kept with that idea, other than they want you to kind of create your own. Now, I will admit, I know, slap on the wrist or on the hand, because this was bad. For this month, which, like I said, was amigurumis, I followed patterns. I made 2 things, and I followed a pattern for both. Didn't design my own, unfortunately. One of the patterns I will be, actually 2 of the patterns I'll be showing you guys in a moment in a little slideshow. I did switch up a few things in them, and I pulled parts from different patterns, but these are like made in the past. So if you guys give me one moment, I will try and bring up my screen to share and show you guys some past items I've made. And then I would gladly talk to you guys about what next month's theme is, because I've got a couple good ideas for this and would love your guys' feedback. Okay, so there's the screen. Let me go to so we're gonna go. I know I'm talking to myself for a moment, because I'm trying to get things situated the way I want. Oh, they've changed stuff down here. Let me see if this is what I want. Please bear with me. Share screen. That should be this one. Haha! There we go. Okay. So, as you can see, we're going to have some different amigurumis I have made. And I hope you guys like them. Honestly, I don't have a favorite. I have one that I really do kind of veer to as my favorite, but I don't know if I would say it is my all-time favorite. So I made a couple of blue monkeys last year. Now they are slightly different as to the way the limbs were sewn on, or the one's nose seems like the mouth area seems bigger than the other. But all in all, they turned out pretty cute. I made this little ladybug. Probably couldn't tell you much about most of the patterns. I really don't remember the patterns per se. Now this little owl I made, and I'm trying to think if that's the one I'm thinking of. No, I think that one was, yeah, I think this owl, the ears, I pulled from a different pattern. So technically, I designed my own because the ears weren't the same. There was this cute little bear, and her skirt comes off. She was cute as well. Then this is still amigurumi. It's just a head and then a little lovey, and there's a little gray fox. I love it. I think it turned out really cute. I know I showed it off the one time we had granny squares as our theme because the blanket was a granny square. And I did a solid granny square with a bunny. And I love doing that, like taking the heads of an animal, an amigurumi, and then figuring out what kind of little square blanket. Then there's this little ghost, and I had an idea for the ghost and something else I made recently that I got from Setta's Place idea. And I made like a little small wreath. And I was going to hang this ghost from it for next month's theme, which is make something Halloween related. And I'm going to talk to you guys in a moment about that because I've got a couple good ideas and may need your help. Well, the ghost is too big for the wreath that I use. I just used the small one, and it doesn't work out the way I wanted it to. So I never did join them, but I made this little ghost. She was, as you see, pink hat. I call her she. She was really cute. Then I made this little yellow bunny, this little multi-shade green little shark, a little blue bumblebee. Why blue? I don't know. It's just the colors I went with. A little bear. Although the bear has no limbs, now that I actually look at it. Huh. That's weird, the pattern, because it has a little tail, but it has no limbs. I thought something looked weird about that pattern, and now I realize what it is. It has no limbs, but it's a bear. A past pumpkin I made it in a nice lilac purple. Dragonfly. I wish I'd embellished it a little more or did something a little different with it, but it was cute. I definitely had fun with that dragonfly. Then I made this little ghost lovey, which also is a granny square blanket, which I think turned out really cute. Now it's not as big of a like security type little blanket, but it was still cute. I made this little bat last year. Then I made this little blue monkey. His arms were only 5 single crochets around, and it was a little hard on the fingers. Definitely had to use a stitch marker on that one. I made this little turtle, which I think is adorable, but instead of a shell, he's a s'mores. But I would use it as a pin cushion. Put your pins up here in the graham cracker on the top of the poor turtle's head. I know it's cruel, but I think it made for a cute little pin cushion. But instead of a shell, like I said, it was a s'mores. I don't remember where I got that pattern from, unfortunately. Made this little chicken. These aren't even all the things I've made. Like, I've made a lot more. These are just kind of, I think, my better quality stuff. Made this little Valentine's gnome. I love making gnomes. I've only made a couple, but I would hopefully be making more in the future. I have an idea for a few things for my channels, and gnomes could be part of one of those ideas, and I'll get into it later this year. Yeah, I'll probably get into it later this year and see which one I go with first. But there's a little pink and purple gnome. I made this little kitty. Actually, the kitty stood up to be pretty tall, like from top to bottom. I think it was a good 14 inches long. It was a good size. Turned out bigger than it actually looks. I made this little kind of octopus squid type idea. Okay, this owl. So the other one, I used different ears for it. This owl, the feet came from a different one. I didn't like the feet that were on this pattern. I went from different feet. And then I made this little bunny. This octopus was fun to make. And like doing the two pieces for the tentacles, like one inside and outside, as you can see. It was definitely a different technique. And I had fun with that one. I would love to make this octopus again, but unfortunately, I don't remember what pattern I used on Pinterest, so it would probably take me a while to go find it, or one similar to it. I made this little elf in green and white. The paper says bills on it because I didn't have any bills I could actually physically use. And my elf's cutting up my bills. It's supposed to represent. I thought it was kind of cute. Made this little turkey. Wasn't too pleased with it. Now, I would have to say this little Martian dude is my favorite. He's a four-legged? It's actually four-legged little creature. Had a whole lot of fun with it. I used all the different shades of green I had in my, supplies and stuff, and I went to town on it, and I loved it. I thought it was kind of funky. I really, really wish I could remember where this pattern came from, because this would definitely be another one I would love to make. Made this little elephant, and at a later date, I added up to the top of it a little key ring so that you can put it on your keychain, because it wasn't very big. Then I made this little bear, and the jacket does come off. She's kind of cute. Then I made this donut, and this Tim Hortons cup is sitting beside is an extra large Tim Hortons cup. So kind of puts perspective of how big the donut turned out to be. Then I made this little sock monkey type amigurumi. Had fun with it too. I wasn't too impressed though with the mouth and how it was made. But the sock monkey itself was really cute with the hat and a little scarf. Then I made this elf Christmas ornament, a snowman Christmas ornament, a Santa Claus Christmas ornament. This little walrus, I think, turned out pretty cool as well. And then here's another donut. Unfortunately, I did not have a Tim Hortons cup sitting beside it. It does look huge, but I think it was pretty much the same size as the other one I showed you. Then I made this huge bumblebee. I had so much fun with it. I think it turned out pretty awesome. I loved it. And then I had this big panda bear that I also made, and as you can see, that's a 2-liter bottle of pop sitting beside it. And it turned out to be a very good size little panda bear. Then I made 2 other octopuses way back when. Now these ones are made of cotton, where the one I made this month was 100% acrylic. Now this was Elsa and Anna. It was from a kit. The library group I used to go to, a bunch of us ladies would get together and crochet and knit and do whatever crafting. The one girl got this kit for Christmas. She got this kit for Christmas. There was no way she could do it, so she asked me if I could. The only thing was, I think it was Anna's dress. You can't really tell because of the way her cape's tied on. But her dress, I had to make it 1 round shorter. And thank goodness the skin tone color I had enough to make it 1 round longer. Because the dress part, like this lighter blue at the top, there was not enough blue. And I thought, aw. So that's why I kind of don't trust kits. So I made Elsa and Anna. I made this flamingo. Wasn't really that happy with it, but I made it. I love this ice cream cone. Love this 2-scoop ice cream cone. I got the pink, which is kind of like a strawberry flavor, and then the white, brown, and pink, which is Neapolitan. Love how it turned out. It was big. Like, it turned out really big. It was cute. Made this little dinosaur. This brown, multi-brown, and then blue accent puppy dog. Why blue? I don't know. Now, this was early on in my amigurumis, as you can tell here in the chest of the dog. You can see the stuffing behind the stitches. It wasn't tight enough. I was just starting to learn. I've definitely gotten much better since this doggy, but I still think it's cute. Now, I know I showed this off to somebody and they're like, how'd you get the ears to stand up that way? I don't remember exactly how I sewed them onto its head, but that's how they stood up all on their own. And you can kind of fold them over to make them floppy ears. But yep, I made that dog and I thought it was so cute. This little sunflower that turned out really cute. And the fun part about it is this green stem part. Like if you were giving it to like an infant, they could use it like almost. I almost wish I'd put a rattle actually in it, and then had the rattle part like up here in the flower part of the sunflower, and then the handle part in the stem, because the baby could easily hold this and rattle it. But unfortunately, I didn't have any baby rattles to put into it, but I thought it would have been cute. I made this little boy superhero type doll. This little lamb. Wasn't very happy with it, but I made it anyways. This cute little bunny. Oh my goodness. Same yarn as I used for the ice cream cone. Or well, the one smaller ice cream scoop. Loved this bunny. I loved how the pattern, the colors just, played amongst themselves kind of thing. And now I made this little PlayStation. Now the bird and this tree here in the back are not attached to the base, but it's like a little play set for a little child, like more so a toddler than that, because there's no choking hazards or anything. I made this little piggy. Now in the back there's a small little square that I sewed on, like the two sides and the bottom, and you can use it for like a tooth fairy piggy kind of idea. I thought that was kind of cute. Made this llama. Oh my goodness. I know this came from, I believe it was a make along on the Crochet Crowd with Mikey. I do believe. And Yarn Guzzler. Oh, because of all the little loops you got to make to make the fur. But it turned out really beautiful. I love it. And would love, if that's where it came from, I would love to make it again. It's a beautiful construction of the way it turned out. That, like, between that and my alien, I think they're my two favorite items I made. Well, the multicolored bunny, I really loved it too, but I think the llama and the alien are my two favorites. Now, my husband, prior to this ego, I've never made anything for him, ever. He's not into hats, like knitted, crocheted hats, scarves, mitts, slippers, clothing. He's not into any of that stuff. At least he wasn't. I was one day on Pinterest, and as I'm scrolling through, he saw the bald eagle. Now, I will admit the feet are not the proper feet. The feet that came with this pattern, I needed wire to go in it to shape them, and I just didn't have the supply, so I went looking for other feet. The feet are, yes, I know, way too big for this project, but I made it anyways, and my husband's fine with it. He doesn't really care. But this was the very first thing my husband asked me to make for him, and I made this, oh goodness, I'm thinking about 9-10 years ago now, at least 9-10 years ago. And I think it turned out pretty okay. I could have probably obviously done better, but that was early on when I started doing amigurumis. Proud of it, even though, like I said, the feet are definitely way too wrong. But hey, it is what it is, and my husband's proud of it. I made this little turtle. Now, I have seen other, like this shape here, where you make a bunch of them, and then the way you join them makes an animal. And I've seen those patterns before, and I've been wanting to make one. I just haven't yet, but I saw that and I thought I could make a turtle with it, so I did. It would make for a good pin cushion, I think, also. Then I had this red heart yarn. I want to say Red Heart Unforgivable, I think is the name, but don't quote me on it because it's been so long since I made it. And I made this cute little fish. Now, originally it only called for 2 tail fins, but I made 4 because I don't know, it made it more elegant, I think. And I just let the colors play where they may. And I love this fish. Like, it's one of my, it's got to be up there with one of my top favorites, I would have to say, because it turned out so cute. Unfortunately, I don't have any more. I sold it, but it did turn out really cute, and I love it. Then I made this little piggy with the same type yarn as the fish, but it was in browns and beiges, and then I did white tails. Actually, yeah, I think I did a white curly tail, and then the white ears, and then the front part of its nose, like the flat piece here, was done in white of a different yarn, about the same thickness. That's all I can tell you about it. And I'm actually glad I did those in white because I would not have had enough otherwise. Now, yes, these are kangaroos, and yes, they are red and black. Um, Again, over at Mikey's, he did a mystery crochet along on the Crochet Crowd one time, and we did not know what we were making. Like at one point, maybe the big legs on the mama, and then the next part could have been the small arms of the baby, and we did not know what we were making so well into making the patterns, and there's two of them, so you couldn't really tell what you were making. Now the baby does fit in the pouch. Red is not a color I normally use often, and there was a bunch of stuff that was given to me. Same with the black; they were the same brand, I think. Red Heart, Super Save or Super Value, whatever yarn. Like they're Red Heart, like 100% acrylic yarn. I went with it and thought whatever it becomes red. And I thought it kind of turned out cute, but I know red's not a normal color for a kangaroo, but that's what I made. And then this one, same thing. It was a mystery again on Mikey's. And I had this orange color and a lot of it at the time. And I made it. And I know he's supposed to be like a green color from Monsters Inc. And then the one year, my one brother's daughter, for Christmas, now, sad note, we did lose her a few years ago. Actually, multiple years now. Years ago, we lost her. Um, she was born terminally ill, and her mobility was not, couldn't give her like the outside Anna doll. There's no way. Like, she was with us for 6.5 wonderful years, but because of her health issues and that, this was something she could hold on to because the arms were long and they were thin enough she could grip them and hold them and stuff like that. And unfortunately, they weren't home when I was up at my mom's for the holidays. I don't even know why I didn't see them, but somehow my mom dropped this stuff off to him. And the minute he seen this, he knew exactly what it was, but questioned why the color. So, of course, then he sent me this long email. Love the presents. Thank you, sis. Blah, 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 blah. But what's with the orange? So I had to explain to him what it was all about. He's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I hope she likes it. And he's like, oh, she's flinging it all over the room. And I thought, awesome. That's what I want to hear. And I think at the time she was about 3. And she loved this doll. How it didn't fall apart, I honestly don't know. I don't know if it was something my brother kept of hers, like as a keepsake memento. But I know he did keep a fair bit of her stuff. I don't know if this was one of the items or not, but I loved it. Would definitely make him again, but proper color. And then the last thing I got to show you are these 3 giraffes I made. I think they end up getting donated to, I think, the women's shelter. I donated it for the kids there. I made these 3 drafts. So as you can see, I love making my amigurumis. I enjoy them. I've always had fun with them. So yeah, that was for this month. Now, since we are on the last day of the month, I can share with you guys next month's theme. So for the month of October, obviously being Halloween, make something for Halloween. Now, I'm in a dilemma. I have an idea. Well, I have 2 ideas in mind. I'm really, 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 really pushing on the one, but I'm not sure yet if I'm going to go that route or not. Because I have a half a skein of white, a full skein of black, and a full skein of a light gray. So as you can see right here. So I was thinking maybe making a reef and or a gnome, because looking at a gnome as well, in like a Jack Skeleton type vibe. But then I thought, never really ever watched the movie. I don't really know much about the movie, so I hemmed and hawed about it. Then I thought, okay, I know this isn't Halloween per se, but it gives me the Halloween vibes. So this is where I would like your guys' opinion, because I'm not quite sure on what exactly I will do to embellish it. But I was thinking of taking the black and taking, my lovely multicolored stuff that I don't have much left. And I'm hoping it would actually be enough now that I'm looking at it. It should be. And take my reef, and half my reef was going to be in this multicolor. Now, I know the colors in here are not true to where I'm drawing my inspiration from. But I was going to do half the reef in this color, and then half the reef either black or black and white stripes. I haven't decided which way to go on that. And then I know in my bottom bin, or possibly my middle bin, some sparkly silvery yarn. And I was going to crochet a spider web that I'll attach at the back part of the reef. And it would give me kind of the vibe of the window in the dorm room for Wednesday in Enid. I don't know if you guys have seen the Netflix series Wednesday, but if you have, you'll know the window I'm drawing this vibe from. So I was thinking of making a reef, half Enid, half Wednesday kind of reef, combine them together. They got to try to live in harmony, share the room, stuff like that. So I was thinking doing a reef. Now, like I said, I know the multicolors that are in this and the multicolor that's in her share of the window are not exactly the same. So I don't think there's really much of a green in it, but this is the best I can do with that. I'm just really hoping now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to have enough. Because I don't remember the size of reef I have. I don't know where at the moment it is, because it's not sitting where it should be. So I'm hoping it's in amongst this pile of crafting stuff I have on my couch here. But the thing is, once I do the reef in the two-tone colors and then do the spider web on the back, and I was thinking, like I said, a silvery, sparkly, kind of give it the feel that's wet kind of look to it on the back. Although if you look at the window, it's more of a black spider web vibe. But I'm thinking to doing the sparkle one just because it'd be a little more fun, I think. Then I don't know how to embellish each side. Like, I know Wednesday, I could do maybe a little cauldron type idea with bubbly coming out of it or something. She's really into knives and other weapons. If you've seen the series, especially first season or second season, first episode, first few minutes of the clip that I've seen, a lot of weapons are involved. Other than I'm not quite sure what else to put on her side. And then on Ina's side, I was thinking like nail polish, because she's kind of the girly girl type, and don't know what else besides that. So I don't quite know how I want to decorate it, to give it the two girls vibes. And speaking of that DIY site, Pinterest, I have been on it for the last 3-4 days, searching and searching and searching to see what kind of Wednesday ideas I can come up with. And I really like the reef idea, and I have not found a single Wednesday reef. No, I'm surprised there's not one already out there available to look at least to get vibe from. Like Jack Skeleton, there's all kinds of them. That's why I was kind of thinking either doing a reef or a gnome for that. But I really kind of want to do the Wednesday idea. And then, like I said, I'd have to take my reef and definitely draw a line down it to show me where half is. And then I think I'm going to do them in a strip. Like half the strip to go down the one side and half go down the other, and then sew it all up in the center part. but I don't know how to embellish it. Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I know we have a hot glue gun. I don't know if there's maybe a few items I could go out to, like, use it place or like a dollar store, and not so much a dollar store. I don't think they'd really have what I want, but see what kind of little toys and other items I can maybe hot glue to it. Like, I just don't know. I said I know I could do the reef. I could do the spider web in the back, which would really mimic the window, I think. But then after that, what should I put on it? So if you guys have watched this to the end, give me your ideas. Like I said, don't know for sure if that's the way I'm going to go. I'm wanting to, but I'm thinking because of supplies, the Jack skeleton would be easier because I've got, the grays, the whites, the blacks, which is what I've been seeing. The gnome is gray, white, and black, where the reef is mainly just black and white. And I've only got a partial white, so I got to be kind of cautious too. If I do the reef black and white, how much more can I do after that? But I've also seen a Jack skeleton hat, so I don't know. I just know I don't want to make another pumpkin. As you can see, I've made a purple one before. I made a colorful rainbow one earlier this month for amigurumis. So I don't want to do another pumpkin. I don't have orange. For some reason, orange is not a color I carry in my yarn, like in my normal acrylic yarn. Hard to find. When I bought the black and white, I was planning on picking up an orange as well, because I've seen all kinds of gnomes that are like more orange colors and some really cute ones. But then I've also seen one that's kind of like a Frankenstein style, and I've seen a couple other, like I said, I've seen a couple other gnomes. So I'm not 100% sure yet if I'm going to go reef or if I'm going to go gnome. So it's going to be a surprise for you as much as it is for me. Can't wait to see what you guys are making. Again, like I said, please make something, put it out there. Now, for Halloween, I'm going to stretch it beyond what I know most people say, and I did this last year at Christmas time as well. If you're into polymer clay, if you're into resin, if you do beading and other types of crafts like diamond painting, things like that, paint by numbers, or just painting in general, participate this month. I feel as long as it's something Halloween themed, those other crafts can count to make, something that's Halloween oriented, like if it's a decoration or a centerpiece or a wall hanger or something like that. There's an idea too. I could do a wall hanger maybe that's Halloween themed and hanging on my door this year. I've got ideas. But yeah, if you do these other types of crafts, don't feel you can't participate. You're more than welcome to. And then maybe or if you're like in the paper crafts, there's all kinds of stuff you can make that's Halloween themed, that's paper craft that related. Like if it's a junk journal and it's kind of more Halloween themed, go ahead and make it. And then maybe in your crafting community, you can start a theme over there. And then, you guys can have your own idea for things to make a Thursday kind of thing. And would love to see this grow. I know I'm not seeing as many YouTube videos out there as I was. I know Erin over at Crafting Kitty took this year off. And I think a few other ladies have dropped out as well. So I'm not seeing as much. But I would love to see other communities participating as well. Have fun with it. Like, even if you're a sewer and you're making, like, sewing a kid's costume or something, share it. Although I would advise, if it's got a child, to have their face covered some way or blurred out or, something like that. Or 100% give us permission to share your photos if you're sending it to us to share for you. Now, if you're making your own video and you share your child in it, that's your own, choice. But if you're sending it to someone else, please give permission to show child's face. Okay? Keep that in mind. I also, for myself, regarding my niece in particular, even if she was an adult, if someone in the photo is handicapped in a way, like physically, mentally. Some how can I word this without sounding crude? I know handicap, mentally handicapped, like words like that are hurtful. I've had to live up with it my whole life. My one aunt is also disabled. And that's just because my grandmother fell down a flight of stairs at 7 months pregnant. The umbilical cord got wrapped around her neck for the last few months of pregnancy, and it hindered my aunt in a few ways. So if it's someone that can't speak on their behalf, that yes, I want my photo out there, please be mindful of them. Now, if you're, like, say, for example, I'm in your photo, I'd be fine with you sharing a photo of me. And I tell you, yeah, if you want to send that out there, a video of me, whatever, put it out there. But if it's someone who cannot speak on their behalf, please be mindful of them and what you share of them in your own videos or in photos, just for respect, please. That's all I ask. And that's just because I've got a few family members, or had a few family members. Like I said, unfortunately, my niece is no longer with us. But be respectful that way, please, and thank you. That's all I ask. And I'm sure if if this was your own family member and someone was sharing a video or a photo of them, you may feel the same way I do. I hope you guys aren't hearing that. They're doing construction upstairs right now, and sooner or later we'll be doing some in my unit as well for the bathroom. So also they just dropped something up there. So anyways, yeah, have fun with this. Any kind of craft is more than welcome, I think, this upcoming month. You never know what you could come up with. Rug hooking, like I said, needlepoint, cross stitching, painting. Like, there's so many different crafts out there. So have fun. Can't wait to see what you guys are making. Like I said, if you guys have any ideas, if I do go with the Wednesday vibe reef, and you have some ideas of how I could embellish it, please drop me a message down below the video on YouTube. I would love to hear your guys' ideas or suggestions, and it may help me think, those juices flowing a little more, thinking, okay, I'm going to go this way, or I'm going to go that way. Like I said, also to make a Jack Skeleton type gnome, I have all the materials. To make a Jack Skeleton reef, I more or less have all the materials. To make a Wednesday vibe, like their room, draw the inspirations from it, reef, I have the start, and that's kind of the vibe I really want to go, because like I said, I can't find anything on Pinterest that's kind of mimicking their window. So your ideas would be gratefully appreciated. And I've kept you guys long enough, so hey, I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.